And right now we are joining by another leader in business community, Mr. Stanley Kang, Chairman of Joint Foreign Chamber of Commerce in Thailand. Good evening, Kun Stanley.
Good evening.
Have you got the open letter from the Prime Minister?
Oh, I'm not yet. I'm not the billionaire to get the letter from our Prime Minister. Yes. Yes, but so far so good. Yes.
You are not a Thai billionaire, but a Taiwanese billionaire.
Thank you very much. It's a challenging period. It's a challenging period. I think our Prime Minister have to realize it's not just how we protect our health, and also the second stage will be really challenging on the reopening up of the society and economy. And then I think the first quarter will only be hitting by the tourism business. But coming on the second quarter and fourth quarter, I believe on the exporting business, manufacturing part, we really have a very strong impact right now.
But how do you see the Prime Minister's gesture in writing open letter to leading businessmen asking for ideas and cooperation? You think it's a smart move? It's a wise move on his part?
Yeah, I think it's a very wise move because right now, in fact, it's not just a national crisis. It's also the effect from the whole world, right? And then it's totally different from just 1970s, the Dong Yang Gong crisis. And then right now, personally, I believe will be very challenging for the next 18 months, right? There's a good point, there's a challenging point. And the good point is that we really have to using more new technology, right? Just like right now we are interviewing by long distance, the virtual way of technology. I believe that the digital life is coming to our life much faster, and not just in our life, and also our business transaction, everything. So I have to thank the government. They just changed the law to allow that we can have the virtual conference meeting for all the AGM. But of course, that we still have a lot of like electronic sign, and then the law allowed it, but people are still not used to it. So I believe in the next 18 months, there's a lot of changing in our life. We got to work together and then to then our people to use to and how to implement our life into the new style.
Stanley, and if you can proposal from Foreign Chamber of Commerce, what do you like to tell, or what's the outline you like to tell the Prime Minister?
I think to protect our health is very important. So in fact, that not just with the Foreign Chamber, we work very closely with the Thai private sector, Thai Chamber of Commerce and Board of Trade, to ensure that when there's a very less effect on our health. But at the same time, if we shut down too long, I believe that the economic situation will be very difficult to analyze how will that be effect. And I think you can see the figure right now from the European market and even from the United States, right? Currently, a lot of people, unemployment rate very high, and then the life have be very big impact. And then according to our study right now, and current situation that the government really have to come out with a real good policy how to help the economy, because I can foresee that very soon will be facing probably the figure will be around 7 million to 10 million people here, because one thing reality is that the global market, a lot of market have been open, haven't reopened again, right? And then the exporting and then the auto manufacturing will not get that much order in hand for the second and third quarter. And I'm really worried that will this sentimental just for this year or even will be impact longer. And you can see the oil price even go up to the negative level. So it's a lot of things happening today and very fast. So we got to take action much faster to keep a right policy to support the private sector to ensure that our economy don't fall into a challenging situation that we cannot put it back.
Stanley, as you just mentioned that there is a growing call for the government to consider easing the shutdown measures, right? And as you said, I mean, the longer the shutdown lasts, the more damage it will cause to the economy. But But sooner or later, the government need to make a decision on how to handle these very challenging issues. So what would be your advice as a businessman?
I think right now we try to use the new technology and to start opening up the economic. But of course, we have to make sure that we have the capability and ability to management the issue of COVID-19. At the same time, and then we have to make sure that we do create a job, and then we do find out what will be the new normal. I think it's a new thing, not just for the private sector, also for the government. Like a lot of things that I can see the changing that from now on will be more e-government function comes up, and then a lot of regulation that we do have to ask the government to support, right? Because in the past we are talking about Thailand 4.0, but a lot of our regulation reform, right? Public regulation reform are still just in the Thailand 1.0, 2.0. We still require a lot of paperwork, right? Especially at the current situation. Even though we start reopening, I believe everybody to protect their health, they still have to keep the social distance. We still don't think that people can gathering back to your life normally. So a lot of application on the government document. I hope that we can see more easier on the digitalization and on the e-government part to serve the people, not just the foreign community, also the Thai local society can be getting much convenient.
Stanley, over the weekend, there was a decree which approved electronic meetings. And do you think that will help for big corporation, or can it help boost economy in Thailand?
Yes, I have to thank the government. Really have the very fast response for this one, and I think because there's a lot of our top management of the investment people in Thailand, and they have to traveling back to their country, but certainly the country, either their country or Thailand, with the shutdown, so they cannot return to the kingdom of Thailand on time. So if they can go to a lot of AGM or a lot of company meeting, can relaxen the regulation to go through the video conference, and then that will be much help. But I think that's a good starting point. There's still a lot of things that we're still hoping to see that in the next several period of months that we can make a lot of improvement on this.
And you mentioned,
so Stanley, judging from what you said, I mean, it looks like we are talking about a whole new world, and it looks like we cannot go back to business as usual any longer, right? So what kind of changes do you see in the immediate future? You talk about the need for the digitalization of the country to be accelerated. I mean, even Thailand 4.0 may not be enough. They have to be Thailand 5.0 now, right? So how do you see the immediate future in the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic?
Okay, basically coronavirus will take around, before the boxing come out, maybe take 12 or 18 months. No one can tell us the answer yet, right? So in between this time, I don't think that any country will just open its country so easily, right? And we hope can be open, but maybe it takes time because the health are still very important, right? And so I give example. In the past, we do traveling very easy. We have a lot of airline, either the low-cost air to the normal airline. But I don't think in the future you will have a lot of people traveling around that often, right? And then how we recovery all this logistic airline, and not just carry the passenger, also you see how they carry the goods. It's a lot of challenging are changing, right? An example that people don't used to have this kind of conference call. But today I have the President Council meeting of Joint Foreign Chamber of Commerce, and after that, many presidents feedback to me, Stanley, right now, since that it's very easy to use and very saving cost and saving time. So I think people, the way we handle the business, right, in the future, right, once you use it, you will say that's good. Example, on my age time, I had to pass to use the typewriter to the fax machine and to all the normal wireless phone to the smartphone, and then we use Line, we use Skype, and then what will be the next? Right now we are all using. So a lot of new way of communication is coming up. So the new way of communication will change our business behavior, our lifestyle. An example, can we open the school right now? A lot of people are worrying, right? The elder student are still okay. The younger student, is that good for them to long distance learning? And if not, right, if we open school, how we take care of the health? So a lot of things that we are all learning together. So I believe that the call of the Prime Minister is very smart because the nation is falling into a challenging. It's not just for the government. It's also for the private sector, for the people. It's a time. Thailand got to unite it together again. And we got to find a solution for ourselves. And then, of course, this solution can something brainstorming by ourselves. At the same time, we should look at how China do it and how Korea doing it. And then how Taiwan, where my home country, we're doing it. And then coming right now, how European going to do it right now. Germany are doing a good job. There's some leading thing there. And we look at the United States. Also, the president of the United States also claimed that they are coming back soon. Then how are they going to come back? So I think the whole world are falling in the same situation. And we probably we have to find out our way, how we save ourselves and how we bring ourselves back to the global supply chain.
Yeah, Stanley, I'm afraid that the next time we invite you to our studio for interview, you said no. We can do it on Facebook now, right?
Yeah, I think it's costing. You see, I think costing is very important. Right now maybe we sit down and think about in the past we spend so much time on the traffic, and then that's another cost, right? And right now we can have more time to enjoy family life, and then we don't eat that much because there's no social networking there, right? But concentrate. I think life will changing. The totally will changing to us. Right now the most important thing is that how we find the best way and best solution to protect the health of our people in the nation. And second, we really have to find a way and then what will be the room, the biggest room that we can starting our economic activity. We ensure that everybody can have their job. Everybody can learn things to adopt the new society and new way of behavior.
Stanley, you mentioned a lot about new world, 5G era or digital era. But on the other hand, people keep telling us as well that perhaps it's time to be back to simpler life or to have like self-reliant economy. Do you think the world will be facing more dilemma between going to be more digital and back to more basic lifestyle? How do you see it?
Okay, my feeling like this, yes, in the past, most of people, they come into the main city to looking for the job, right? You see the COVID-19 happened. In this period of time, there was a lot of people have to return back to their home. So I do urge the Thai government to think about it, right? Right now, I don't think in the next 6 months or 12 months that we will be able to provide a lot of job there. Just like at the beginning, I said I'm worrying our unemployment rate will have 7 million to 10 million people. And that's the big issue that we never happened in Thailand. We all know the figure in the past until the first quarter. Thailand always in the past we always have very good performance on our employment. So we always have less than 1% of employment rate. So right now the people, the life will not just in the city. We have to accept that will be a lot of people will return back to each province, each Jangwat. And then the Jangwat had to rethink about it. How can they create the job for their own people return home there, right? And of course, we will try to record again in the economy, maybe on the EEC area, but that will take time. Before that can be ready, how about our population and all these population that are people? You cannot just then ask them to stay at home, right? You got to find something for them to learn. And then these people, they will bring more new technology back to the upcountry. And can we start to think out how we do the smart farming, and then how can we do the more technology on our farm, when a lot of young people also returning back home. And then also one thing I'm very worried because with the coming years new graduation young people, can we create more jobs for them? right? The economy is really challenging right now, right? So there's a lot of issue. If we cannot solve the economic issue, the thing will be the social problem. So I think that right now is not wait until the problem happen and solve the problem. Right now, I urge the Thai government and then all the private sector, all of us got to really sit down and think what we're going to happen. And we had to prepare ourselves as fast as we can and then to face the challenge in there. You see, I can see all the pictures there, the beautiful restaurant with Thai food is so excellent, but right now, I don't think within a short time we can all go back without social distance and eating in all these restaurants. So a lot of things are changing from the bottom part to the high end. So that's why I say Prime Minister is giving a very smart move. He's bringing more talent to come into around him to give suggestions and recommendations to see that what will be the step that we're going to bring Thailand back to the normal society.
Okay. Thank you very much, Stanley, for your insight and your view on Thai economy and the solution. And I'm sure Prime Minister can hear what your concern is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you. Thank you, Kun Natha. Thank you, Kun Thechai. Thank you.
All right.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Stay
Thank you
healthy
very
too.
much.
Yeah.